Hey everybody in the not everyone on the internet, but everyone who's watching this video. Hello. It's been a while. There was some unfortunate stuff in my family that had to be taken care of. It is now taken care of, so I am back to YouTube, and I wanted to address a comment I saw. Somebody said something in another video about creating string-based spooky ambience, stuff like that. So I went ahead and did that, and I was gonna make this video last week, and I didn't forget, but I just spent time with my wife, hanging out with her, and it was a lot of fun. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a lot. All 5 of these are free, based in either Spitfire's Labs or what is it called? Decent Sampler. We're gonna start with one of my favorite things ever, Dead Cello. We're gonna isolate it. Have a listen. See, a Dead Cello is just this super tight yet spacious, like godly huge hall spacious cello. It's very warbly, it's very dampened. Choosing to play around with those settings does quite change a lot. But I think what makes Dead Cello so special, let's bring it up in the mix a little more. What makes it so special is just how it creates this almost like dead space kind, in the context of, I should preface this, I do compose music for mostly horror games. It gives this sort of like dead space kind of almost a voice out in like a big spacious 0G hallway, especially when you get into the higher registries, like when you're up here. You start playing around with that mod wheel, you get a fairly disturbing machine, which is how I like to think of Dead Cello. I like to think of it as either a voice that sits in the mix and sort of just haunts you, or like a machine that creates drones, you know, like a very like something along those lines. Is that a cello? Yeah, your ear hears that and goes, "Oh, cello, that's a stringed instrument." But your brain hears it in the context of something, again, like a Dead Space or like a Silent Hill Homecoming, where you have these big, spacious yet foggy interiors, and your brain goes, "Oh, a noise like that in an interior? That's got to be something right around a corner, or like behind a fog, or like in some sort of cryopod. I don't know, whatever you're playing." But yeah, so Dead Cello, I think definitely I gotta remember to get into the habit of like making these bigger. Yeah, Dead Cello is definitely something I love. I love Dead Cello. I use it on a lot. I even use it on tracks that aren't horror. There's a track for a game coming out where it kind of just sits in the mix and does this. And that's it. I mean, it's a little more low passy in that mix. But yeah, that's Dead Cello. Again, completely free in the Decent Sampler. Totally free. You just kind of just go to the Decent Sampler store. I believe you can just type whatever you're looking for. Nope. I can find it. You have to go to Piano Book probably and find it there. But I promise it's there. I'll have the link for everything down in the description as always. Oh, it clashed. Either way, also sitting in Decent Sampler, the next plugin we're going to talk about, which is where we're getting. Oh, did all of Bitwig crash? Oh no, yeah. Okay. Where we get the low end for this track, also again in Decent Sampler, one of the spookiest plugins I use, called Spellslinger. I believe there is a paid upgrade for this that I don't use. What is Spellslinger? It makes a noise. It's one of those noise makers I talk about, and this is the noise it makes. You have the grayish notes down here, which are gonna add like that vocal stim you hear, and then the notes up here also are gonna add vocal stems, just in a higher registry. So as you can hear, there's also like super hella bass in this. It's kind of insane how bassy this gets. There's no... the UI for this is a little weird, but everything does come up down here in, I guess what I would call the Bitwig. Here's the dummy interface. I believe there's a version of this that does have like drone, sustain, and then I think this is the one-shots. Yeah, this is like the noises you'll hear. It's all down there. So this is your drone, this is the sustain, and this is the one shot. Honestly, just leaving everything at 100 or 1, just a flat 1%, which is the highest it goes up to, because that's 1 of 100th is still 100th if you're basing it off, 0 to 1. The release here is what's interesting, because the release is typically at 0 on this. So if you start it up, it'll be at attack 100. Release at 0, and that'll sound like this. You just have this instant end, and that's because typically, from what I understand, a lot of people will run this like with a convolution reverb and just sort of get that like almost like reverse hit at the end. It's very hard to explain, but with the release, I mean, you can hear it, but with the release up, you kind of lose that in the mix. And you get more of a pad at the end if you raise the release. But yeah, Spellslinger is an incredible tool. There's also Spellslinger Piano, which is this same vocal kind of premise, except instead of those vocal stems and vocal one hits, it's 2-ear MIDI, like your middle C, just have a piano. It'll play, whatever note you hit, the note on the piano that correlates with that on your keyboard, with the drone effects and everything. Yeah. As you can hear as well, it is quite bassy and it is quite loud. I like to run this. I like to run this like as that sort of really low end bass line. If we just drown it in convolution reverb, let's pick a cool convolution. I guess St. Peter's is cool. Let's do a big hall. Let's do Yoga Studio. Oh, let's down tune it. Oh. Kill the brightness, a little bit of pre-delay. Bring up that release. And we just make a pad. We just make a spooky gothic Kingsfield pad. Kingsfield in aesthetic, not in practice. But yeah, that's That's Spellslinger. Again, free. Link will be in the description. The next one, number 3, might shock you. It's just flute and violin. That's it. You can see the sustain FX. That's just because there's a sustain effect. There's a held sustain on both of these. One press will play both the note on the flute and the violin. I don't quite remember what type of flute it is. In the piano book page for this, it will tell you. But yeah, you have mod wheel on tone, which comes in handy for getting a little chatter out of it. You'll see what I mean in a second. Let's get into it. You can see the tone wheel moving there. In a mix like this, it's... Is it a creepy string? Yeah, kind of. It has this sense of like... It has this sense of like when played in lower registries, you know, we drop the tuning like what, four steps. You get these sort of ethereal pad like sounds, and you could just create that by playing it in lower, like transposing it down even. But what I like to do, what's it called? Blur. Get a little blur on there, and then some chorus. And you sort of have this like Akira Yamaoka style, like, oh, that's quite the interesting sound. It's not quite a string anymore. It's not quite a pad though. It still has like the elements of both. And if you bring an EQ in here, and you like to do my favorite thing, which is go into that 3K range. Oops. Add a little LFO. You just get bliss. You just get this heavenly, this like truly heavenly yet somewhat sinister tone. And again, it's that sort of like Akira Yamaoka, like this is the kind of song that's gonna play in a cemetery where you don't feel comfortable, but you don't quite know why yet. You know, there's a spooky thing happening in this cemetery, and I can't explain it. You know, you get that sort of pad, and the full mix, it sounds well too. Sort of creates this like, not quite vibrato, but with the LFO and the chorus, you get like a scary sound. You get a unique pad. Which brings us to another pad I like to use, which isn't a pad. It is the Spitfire Labs Frozen Violin, which sounds like this. I guess Labs does this amazing thing where the controls are usually just 3 knobs, or 3 variables and then 1 knob. It becomes very, very easy to sort of like manage that. This is always going to be your velocity, and then your input output is just on one thing. Frozen strings is great because it lets you sort of manage everything in the higher registry of your mix so well. Like, it always sits so softly. Like, if we were to push this up, transpose it up an octave, it just owns that higher registry. It just becomes what makes the higher EQ part of a horror mix stand out. Because when you have, like, let's run this with Spellslinger. When you have that lower registry in your mix and that higher registry coming at each other, like, you have 2 solid ends here. And if you're using like a visualizer to see where the high and lows in your mix are sitting, I know Isotope just put one out for free with their whole maybe not Ozone, but Isotope put something out, and it'll show you like a bar, and it'll have your it looks almost like an EQ. Like, if I were to bring up an EQ, it would have all of your bands, and it's just showing you like where they are versus like where they should be genre wise, blah blah blah. But yeah, if composing horror music like this and you want something in the higher registry to stand out, I think Frozen Strings does such a good job. Because it's subtle. It's a very, very, very subtle effect. That literal frozen string, the warble and the whininess of it sounds so deep despite being so thin. That's Frozen Violin. Again, completely free. Ignore the errors I get. My labs is super outdated, and I don't want to update it because I don't like the direction they took labs. It's like a paid subscription. It's like Netflix now. But yeah. Speaking of labs, we have the most blatant and obvious Scary Strings. What do you think Scary Strings is going to sound like? It sounds like Scary Strings. There's like no other way to put it. It just sounds like it's always a little quiet, but I like that. We could, for the sake of the video, just bring it up. Scary Strings is super cool. One of my favorite things ever. I'm actually gonna bring up. We're gonna bring. I guess it's better just to bring in dynamic. Just. Oh, there we go. Perfect. You can hear it's cool because with the dynamics, and you can really hear like the grittiness of the bowing. But yeah, I mean, I like Scary Strings because it's called Scary Strings. It needs to be in a video about Scary Strings because it's called Scary Strings. Something I also like about Scary Strings is it works really well with distortion, which is why I have it in this video. Let me just actually use the default distortion. We'll scoop the mids like that. We'll bring the drive down, bring it out in the mix. You get this sort of like blown out yet significantly more powerful note. And it sustains really well, even if even if you're not the best at really managing and working around a distortion, you still get this quite lovely and honestly very beautiful, creepy little sound. And yeah, those are the 5 scary strings I use fairly regularly too. And in a full mix, you know, this is what you get: a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful little pad. You know, if you even wanted to like get really, really weird, you could bring it in that 4K hertz and cut the bit rate. Codec 2 came out, by the way, and now you have this like lo-fi grungy weirdness. Just makes it a little more unsettling. But yeah, that's it. That's 5 scary string VST instruments I recommend. All of them are free. Everything I use in the mix is free. Quickmaster Quickmaster LR split doubler, which is just left-right split doubler. These are presets: Bitwig, Ozone 11 free, Codec free, and Pancake, which I just use for left and right panning. All free. Everything you see in this video is free. Obviously not the DAW and stuff, but you know, you'll get there. Any DAW works. You know, you'll find a DAW with presets for mixing and mastering that work for you. At the end of the day, like and subscribe. I'm trying to hit 500. I have my official artist page here on YouTube now, and I want to continue to make production tutorials like this for aspiring game sound designers and composers. So help me make that happen. I love you.